Welcome. Thanks so much for tuning in. Earth Angel Aura here. Once again, let's go ahead and get into this intuitive reading for the collective of chosen ones, divine feminine, divine masculines, the twin souls. Without further ado, Holy Spirit, Most High, Jesus Christ, Divine Mother, the universe. We thank you for intuitive wisdom, insight, and spiritual protection. We thank you for giving us intuitive wisdom at this time and allowing the angels and ancestors to assist us for this read for the collective. Amen. Ashe. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this. Starting off with this thumbnail, let's get into it. I was led to share this because, yikes, I married my mother. Okay, maybe divine feminines or divine masculine, you could be feeling this as well. Energy is fluid, so take it as it resonates. Leave the bones. You're definitely feeling that a lot of the things that you try to avoid, a lot of the characteristics, a lot of the traits you try to avoid or maybe run away from, unfortunately, many of us ran into it. What I'm picking up with this energy is that this was major aspects of what needed to be healed within yourself. Things that you may have tried to reject based on your own upbringing. So, Holy Spirit, what do we have? Wow. Ask for your needs to be met. Okay, let's go ahead and get into reading this card. It says, God and the angels can come to your aid only if you make a free will choice to be helped. And it begins with asking. It doesn't matter how you ask God for help, but only that you do so. The same holds true with clearing, asking other people to assist you. So, with a card coming out first and foremost with asking for help, like it is your time. Like there were some things that you may have tried to avoid, again, like I mentioned about feeling as if you married your mother or married your father per se. There were certain things that were left dormant. There were certain wounds that were triggered for a reason, which is why the twin souls is very relevant when it comes to this, because what needs to be healed within you is typically triggered in the form of your divine complement. Whether you're a divine feminine or divine masculine, it's going to be triggered. They're going to uproot certain things that is hindering you from aligning with your best version of yourself. And so Spirit is wanting you to know that it's okay for you to ask for help, ask for your needs to be met, set the tone, set the precedent for what it is that you do want. You may have shied away from really verbalizing your needs and your wants when it came to maybe a mother or a father figure. But now you have no choice but to be honest and be authentic with what it is that you want, the needs and desires that you want. And Spirit is wanting you to know that, by you shying away from that, that's not allowing you to actually heal those mother and those father wounds. It's coming up for a reason. We also have release, resentments about money. Yes, the money system of the world can seem upsetting, but holding resentments about finances just pushes your abundance away. Instead, see money as a tool you can use to better the world. And this shift will help you attract support and golden opportunities. So, an aspect too is maybe if you feel as if you're being silenced in regard to your relationships, in particular your relationship when it comes to the mother or the father wound. They may have wanted you to be seen and not heard per se, and you may have carried on that wound within yourself. And so now is the time for you to shift forward and understand that by releasing those by releasing the dialogue that may have been put into your subconscious mind, you're allowing yourself to release those resentments that you may have had, even in regard to money. All right. You may have resented certain aspects of the things that you need to do right now. And some of that too, it could be carried over again from your family of origin, from your mother and your father. Okay. Maybe they had some resentments based on things they weren't able to heal. So you know how it goes. What does not heal, what you aren't able to heal, unfortunately, these things pass on as a baton to your children. So Spirit is wanting you to allow yourself to shift forward. And instead of looking at the role that you're in or the responsibilities that you have as a burden, okay, get in a habit of affirming what it is that you want. Get in a habit of seeing the best when it comes to your divine compliment or seeing the best when it comes to yourself. And this is how you're able to heal and move past those mother and father wounds. Exercise to increase your energy and manifestation abilities. The key to manifesting quickly is to have a very high energy level. And the easiest way to increase them is through physical exercise. Choose a fun and meaningful activity so that you'll look forward to exercising and it becomes its own reward. So, what also is being mirrored is when it comes to like this is about exercising, this is about shifting how you honor yourself. Okay, it's not necessarily about um, the aesthetic or wanting to look your best. Okay, that's an aspect of it. But what is being mirrored when it comes to your masculine or when it comes to the feminine, there could be, they could be trying to push you towards being your greatest, but you may have resistance towards because it may feel as if, again, you marry your mother or you marry your father, where you feel as if, this person is trying to control you or tell you what to do. But if you look at the deeper implications of it, more often than not, they're wanting you to be the best version of yourself for you. Okay? The person that is meant for you is not always going to be a yes ma'am or yes sir situation. They're wanting to see the best out of you. So they're going to tell you things that maybe others shy away from. And you may tell them things that, typically people shy away from. Let's pull some more cards and get into this. Let's go with the yin yang oracle deck. But as I start off with the bottom of the deck, we have healing inner child wounds. This is happening for a lot of the collective because there's a lot of union that's coming into play for the masculine and the feminine. And so this also may require you to actually nurture yourself more. Be the mother that it is you wish you had. And for the masculine, be the father you wish you had. But this is actually coming into play where you're shifting into a new dimension when you begin to realize and pinpoint why certain things are transpiring in your life. If you're able to have a level of introspection and you're able to see that, hey, the very thing that I disliked in regard to my parent or parents or one or the other are things that I'm having to address even when it comes to my relationship, when it comes to the twin soul. Okay? But this is meant to uproot those things. This is not that literally you marry your mother or you marry your father, but it is to uproot. It's serving a purpose. God is utilizing your twin soul in order to serve a purpose, to bring you to this point of healing. Okay, if there were wounds associated around their relationship, whether there was some type of betrayal, whether there was some type of, inability to stand up to the plate when it came to responsibilities, these things are being triggered in order to be healed. And so Spirit is providing that insight for you right now. What is it that you can do that can bring about healing? There's as I'm reading the Game of Life and how to play it, if you go over, I have another channel here. But if you get into that book in particular, it talks about how if you're seeing certain things happen within your reality, if you're able to ignore those things, they drop, they are able to disappear and fade. So let me see if I can explain this even better. And this is about healing. Maybe your mother was very reactive. Maybe your father was very reactive. Maybe they were very critical. Maybe they were pessimistic. If you're seeing some of these attributes being played out when it comes to your divine complement, whether that's the masculine or feminine, this is now time for you to address it. You may have been a child where instead of you telling your mother or your father, hey, I don't like when you do this or that, you may have shied away from that. And so when these things come up into your life, into your adult life, when it comes to the twin soul dynamic, now it's time for you to actually place those healthy boundaries. Spirit is giving you an avenue of healing your inner child. So you may not have been able to speak up for yourself in the past. Now it's time for you to do so. But another aspect of speaking up for yourself is your silence is also a very powerful tool. So just because you know certain things does not mean you have to always speak on them. But when you ignore certain behaviors, when you affirm what it is that you want to see, you're able to bring about healing to the point where those things have no precedence in your 3D. They don't appear in your 3D. You actually evolve into the 4D and the 5D. And so Spirit is giving you insight right now that if there are some things that may have bothered you and you figure like, wow, this is similar to when I was growing up, feeling control, feeling as if you were being silenced, feeling as if, you had to accept certain things. Now is the time for you to actually take the time and pinpoint how you got to this point, what it is that you can do now that can shift forward and allow the healing to begin because it's actually happening. Remember, it's always darkest before the dawn. Okay, so when things are feeling as if things are falling apart, literally these things are falling together. Truth is being expressed. True healing is happening right now. Many of you are facing major decisions. You're at this impasse in your life where you have to make choices for yourself. And this is also an aspect of you healing those childhood wounds, even wounds in regard to, how you show up in the world. You may have been told certain things. You may have said hurtful things to others. Okay, but this is how you're moving forward by allowing yourself to forgive the past, embrace the present, and look forward to the future. And so the decision is to make, are you going to feed into the narrative that was, or you're going to turn the page and create a new chapter? This is the time to do so. I mean, the stars are literally aligned for you, but it's about you taking charge. We have action. Jupiter is here, also courage and new beginnings. So you can see this he's holding this torch. He has this fiery flame. This is definitely representing the masculines at this time that have this sense of, they have a strong sense of fire of raging on the inside of them in regard to this connection. And so just as you may feel that there are certain things that's being triggered from your past when it comes to the masculine, they're feeling similar when it comes to you. This is that sacred symbiosis that's taking place between the masculine and the feminine. But they are moving forward in a very courageous way towards new beginnings. Again, the healing journey, this spiritual journey is not linear. Everybody is not going to look the same when it comes to this. But if you are focusing in on doing the right thing, okay, your intention is going to be felt. It's not about you trying to or having all the answers, but it's about your intentionality. What do you intend on doing when it comes to this connection? Are you intending on allowing aspects of yourself to be healed? Or is it really just about you focusing more so on what the masculine is doing? Because when you begin to focus more so inward and not so much on the masculine, they're beginning to take action. They feel that energetic cord between the both of you. So focus more so on what it is that brings joy to you and do that. Okay, we also have growth. The summer card came out here. Okay, you may have experienced a lot of healing and growth. And looking forward to this coming summer, you're going to see a lot of the groundwork that you're laying now. You're putting down the grassroots efforts now by being honest with yourself, by allowing yourself to break certain cycles, by allowing yourself to shift forward. But you're going to see the growth that you've experienced from the previous summer, this coming summer, you're going to see that much growth as well. You're going to see even more. You're going to see a lot of growth from your masculine as well, because prior to that, we had the masculine card coming out. Okay, in the past, they may have operated in a way that caused some things to be uprooted within yourself, but that is shifting forward. Okay, they're moved by your ability to be very nurturing and compassionate. Okay, you provide like a healed um, feminine energy towards them, whether that's a maternal energy. And again, many of them are having to come to terms with this. Okay, if they were not used to this sense of like true connection when it came to love, when it came to matter of the heart, they're being able to experience that with you. And so continue to move forward energetically. You know what is right for you. Okay, reflection and projection is here. Yeah, truth has come to light, and now things are moving in a way where it's becoming even much more deeper. There was a lot that needed to come to the surface in order to be healed, but it's done that. Both of you have been able to be a mirror to each other, a reflection. And so some aspects of you, masculine may feel as if you are similar to their mother as well. There are some fears that could be surrounding this connection, but those fears are being alleviated as you focus more so on healing yourself. With the exercise card here, there are some masculines that may feel as if their mother may have succumbed to, I guess, the pressures of society, the pressures of womanhood, of motherhood, of wifehood, and they may have succumbed to the pressures of those things by not taking care of their vessels. So this is maybe why some of these masculines may be um, hypercritical per se. The spirit just wanting you to take the good and leave the rest. So the mere fact this exercise card came up, like you literally not only physically exercising, but exercising your mind. Allow yourself to shift your narrative forward instead of feeling as if, because fear is associated with you possibly feeling as if some of the things that happen with your parents could happen with you. And again, when you fear things, unfortunately, you bring them closer to you. So spirit is wanting you to move into a space of forgiveness. Forgive your parents, okay, for what it is. It doesn't mean that you have to be around them per se. It doesn't mean that you have to um, forget or reimagine them as these amazing parents. They were where they were, but take the good and leave the bones. Okay, don't allow yourself to be caught up in the trap of ruminating over what was. Okay, you can also get into um, the law of revision, where you're able to revise certain things of your past. Think of the good aspects that you've had from your past, even if there's things you had to learn from it. Even the fact that if your parents did certain things to you that caused you to be a better parent, that's still good that you can gain from that. And this is how you're going to not only assist your masculine from an energetic or spiritual space, but you're assisting yourself in shifting forward. Wow. Okay, let's see what we have here. And this card flew out. So we have divine intervention, major detours are taking place. You could be wanting to um literally like when it comes to growing into the type of person that you envision yourself to be, it's not for the weak to move upward, to move onward. It takes a lot of faith, it takes a lot of determination, and also a lot of resilience, because oftentimes not everybody is going to understand your journey, in particular your divine masculine. But the both of you are two souls into one, okay? The twin souls. And so as you're beginning to heal, as you're beginning to align with the truth of who you are, okay, allowing the facades to fall. Many of them may have had false beliefs, as you may have had as well, but as you're being more authentic with yourself, divine intervention and justice is taking place. Fate is happening. And the things that may seem as if they were haywire are actually working out for your greater good. Spirit is urging you to surrender, to purge different things from your past, different situations, and allow them to be what it is. Okay, begin to create a new type of perspective in regard to your life so that you can actually bring healing towards this connection. Again, it's not necessarily about changing the other person, but it's about changing yourself. When you change your perspective, when you change who you are and you shift forward, they naturally fall into alignment, which is the surrender, why it's so important. We also have the sun, and we also have the divine time and trust card. Y'all, this and the divine intervention card came up already. So with this coming out, like you are ascending, your frequency is very high. Okay, and it's because you're actually doing the internal work with the sun card here, and also with this divine timing and the detour and divine intervention happening. Like even I stumble saying this a bit because it's like so much energy in regard to the twin souls right now. But just trust that, allow your heart to lead the way. But take your head with you, literally. Like what is happening when it comes to you and your masculine is something very beautiful. It's a beautiful unfolding. It's an amazing union that is actually bringing a lot of healing. Medium comes into play. Like you could be someone where you are picking up on a lot of spiritual messages, even in your dream state. Okay, Spirit wants you to continue to focus inward. Okay, continue to, stretch, get into yoga, get into meditation, get into prayer. Okay, I'm a homebody, but sometimes you got to get outside. You got to be able to get into the elements and allow yourself to be transformed. Okay, you're being rewarded within this connection because you provide a lot of strength. Not everybody is able to go through um, childhood traumas and healing and actually come out on the other side stronger. But with a divine timing here and also this sun strength card, you are a guiding light for your masculine. And somebody has to take the lead spiritually. And the mere fact that you decided to choose you decided to love yourself in regard of whatever it is. Like some of your moms even were hating on you, unfortunately. But that came from a wounded space. Some of them, that's all they could give, unfortunately. So it's time for you to make peace with that and allow yourself to be the mother to yourself that you wanted, to be the father to yourself that you wanted, okay? Because there's greatness at bay. There's greatness that's coming into play. Let's see if there's anything else. Even as I say that, let's see. Your ancestors, your angels, and this is, this card definitely gives further confirmation to the very first card that came out, which is about ask for your needs to be met by the angels. Okay, your angels and ancestors are there with you. Okay, before you go to sleep, definitely, and throughout the day, just pray. All right, speak positive affirmation, speak healing over your union. Okay, and before you go to sleep, definitely pray for insight while you're asleep. They'll give you the insight. Okay, you will be given what it is that you're ready for. So get ready. Okay, there's amazing love that's here when it comes to the masculine and the feminine here. You're both moving to the space of divinity, even at times where there needs to be some sort of separation. Sometimes they need that space away because the energy between both of you is very intense, and they realize that you have certain expectations as well as they have certain expectations. So when the separation is needed, like literally you need to go into solitude at times. You need to take the time to have separation between you and the masculine. This brings about healing. That could be also healing some aspects of a mother wound. Maybe your mother wasn't able to separate from her, from your father or from her, whoever she was with. And that provided a wound that you had to actually come to terms with. What is meant for you will not miss you. This is for the true twin souls. It's here. There is a transcendence that's happening, unity. Okay? You're being able to align with your higher version of yourself right now, and that is bringing about healing within your masculine. That's bringing about healing within you. Some aspects of yourself actually act as a mother or a sister to the masculine as well as they act as a brother and a father to you in some ways. So this is showing that the relationship that you have with yourself is mirrored outward. So when you focus more so on yourself and be more intentional, okay, it helps the healing process. There are definitely your thoughts in regards to this connection, and Spirit wants you to not rush the process, but allow the healing to take place. By you being accountable for what it is that you want, what it is that you see for yourself, that's bringing about healing as you align with your higher self. Higher self activation is here. You have to be honest with yourself, even as even as uncomfortable as it may have been to be honest. Like, wow, the very people I was running away from, I kind of ran into. Like, don't get lost in the healing journey. These things are being mirrored in order for you to see where it is that you need healing at, where it is that you need to confront certain things. Okay, masculine is not in the energy of wanting to party. They may have said certain things in the past, but it's not the energy they're in. They're in the energy of actually having to overcome a lot of guilt, sabotage, realizing this is truth, this is love, this is a sure thing they can depend on. Okay, but again, aspects of like and suffering from the past is being healed within both of you. Both of you may have came from very humble beginnings. You have very similar type of lives. Okay, but it's meant for both of you to be complementary. It's not competitive per se. And so Spirit is wanting you to lend the same type of space for healing to your masculine as you're healing with yourself. And when you focus inward, you have no choice but to allow the space for them to meet your needs or to meet you where you need them to be, because you're meeting yourself where you need to be. Rejection, loss, fragmented. Yeah, it's a lot of deep healing that's happening here, because that card came after the past, like suffering, guilt, sabotage. Many of them have done things that they're not very proud of, and they kind of are testing waters and seeing where you are, because you may come off very guarded. Okay, but this is too an aspect of what you're having to purge and heal from. Maybe you feel a similar type of abandonment or rejection, from your mother or your father. But right now, Spirit is wanting you to be that mother and father to yourself. You have to heal this thing. Okay, there's no running away. And some people have decided to run away. Wow, even as I say that, we have apology and forgiveness. Their forgiveness is, you may not be hearing it verbally per se, but their forgiveness is going to be action. As we spoke earlier, and we saw this part about the action and the courage. The forgiveness that they're wanting to extend, ask of you in a form of an apology, is through their actions. This is a masculine way. And so give it time. Try not to provide too much pressure onto them. Again, set your expectation of what it is that you want, but meet your own expectations by you being what it is that you want. Hopefully, you get where I'm going with this, because they don't see life without you, as you don't see life without them, to be honest with you. They're no longer in this mode of wanting to be deceptive. They're being strengthened to not fall for temptations. They have actually moved beyond that, because they realize that they can actually cause the trigger of this runner chaser dynamic. And many of them are even in the point where they realize that there is not going to be another opportunity to be in your life if they don't play their cards right. Okay, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, fire signs could be very relevant. But even as I see the fire signs, like as she goes down, in this water and her hair is on fire, like they see you as a very fiery element. They see you as someone very passionate, and you have this strong sense of determination. This is also something that fuels them. You inspire them. You're like a muse to them. Okay. And in the past, where they may have been closed off, guarded, and not, very resistant, now they're moving into the space of non-resistance. And I'm definitely picking up for divine feminine. This is your energy right now. You're moving into non-resistance. You're allowing people to live and let live. You're not trying to control the situation again, but it could be aspects of healing those mother and father wounds. Toxicity and patterns. Many of them too are realizing, as well as you, that certain behaviors have been toxic patterns. Again, you may have not had the best blueprint. Okay, your parents may not have the best blueprint, but the mere fact that you're able to have introspection, you're able to learn from things that you have experienced, and you're able to recognize that, hey, I see that there are cycles coming into play. When you begin to realize your cycles coming into play, you're evolving. You're having a higher level of consciousness, and you have a great responsibility when you realize certain things. Okay, two can play that game. That type of dynamic will only cause more healing to happen. To try to be toxic towards the masculine because they may have been toxic to you, or vice versa. So it's time to break free from those bonds and patterns and do something different. Sometimes when people are trying to be hurtful, it's because they need love the most. But it doesn't mean that you have to be a fool in this whole dynamic of healing, but you retreat within yourself. You focus on yourself and you still extend love. You still extend compassion. And this is allowing, because the man can feel this with you, this is allowing them to break free from toxic patterns. They're not even wanting to continue the cycle of toxic patterns. Even as I say that the twin souls came out, twin flames, they're making amends in a very strategic way because they're having to come to terms with things that they never really wanted to come to terms with. But they know that being with you, it forces them to come to terms. Be prepared that by the winter, you will see a fresh new start. Like literally, you'll feel as if the rebirth has already taken place by the winter time. And for some of you, this could be happening for you right now. Who literally still are literally in winter. Comfort zone, the south node clinging. Many of them do cling to you. And it's because they have fear. This can be associated with their mother and father wounds. But the awakening is here, and there's no going back. With the limitations and fear card come out in reverse, you both have freed yourself in some aspects of those fears and limitations based on your ability to go the hard way and trust your heart.